Collecting Artbox Harry Potter prop cards is very skill-based, and those that do their deep research do get rewarded. Many people are spending big money on the prop cards, but in a lot of instances the prop cards are problematic, and I'm going to prove it. So the problem is with the cuts of the important parts that have either unique text or other unique characteristics that allow us to clearly identify the expected placement and look of the fragment based on the well-documented screen-used prop. And these particular fragments inserted into prop cards often do not match the screen-seen props the way one would expect them to. Take for instance the Dumbledore's Army Parchment. We see the Dumbledore's Army Parchment's title text and the first couple of names when the camera zooms in on Fred Weasley signing his name in the Hog's Head scene. We also know how the fully signed parchment ought to look by referencing the Mina Lima prints and taking into account that they took in their prints an artistic liberty of embossing some parts, like the Harry's signature or the Dumbledore's Army title. The folks running Mina Lima were involved in the Harry Potter movies and were responsible for creating many of the original movie scene props, some still occasionally on display in their shops. And now prepared with that knowledge, when we try to line up all the various signature cuts, be it Harry Potter, Ron Weasley or Neville, these look completely different from all of the reference material. I also found a cut that is supposed to be part of the Dumbledore's Army title text. Notice the letter A looks visibly off. Further, the line below the title is just too straight compared to the movie one with irregularities. Let's move to the Philosopher's Stone props. In the movie we see the front page of the Daily Prophet, and if you navigate to the Harry Potter fandom page, it's easy to do the text search to find out if a particular cut has text that was potentially featured on that front page, which is what I did with a couple of cuts. I'll now let my findings roll on screen. For what's it worth, with the Daily Prophet you'll occasionally come across cuts that do seem to match the screen-seen prop correctly, like the cut with the date, or the cut with "in", which was part of the Gringotts title text with a smaller Goblin's text below. The Daily Prophet date being 2001 might catch some by surprise because in the books it was 1991. In the movie they simply changed the year to be the same as when they were filming. Chocolate Frog prop cards were released in only two sets, first in the 2004 Prisoner of Azkaban set, which happened to be the very first Artbox Harry Potter set. But the Prisoner of Azkaban is not the movie that everyone remembers the Chocolate Frogs from. The Chocolate Frog boxes were visible for only 3 seconds on the wall of the Honeyduke's shop when Harry was exiting it wearing his cloak of invisibility. Up next is the 2005 Sorcerer's Stone set for the movie in which Harry opens the Chocolate Frog box when sitting in the Hogwarts Express compartment. And in that scene there is no Honeyduke's writing on the box, and yet the Sorcerer's Stone prop cards do include it, which makes you think they possibly just reused the leftover Prisoner of Azkaban props from that earlier set. Long story short, with this Harry's letter delivered to the 4 Privet Drive prop, the problem is with the Draco Dormient's text. It's supposed to be part of the Hogwarts logo, and therefore be inside the ribbon and not as evenly written in one line. With all this being said, at the back of the cards it's nowhere guaranteed for these to be screen-used, actor-held, or any of the good stuff. I'd expect many of these props to be from mock-ups that were far from the finalized version. Finding the reference material to compare the cuts to can be time-consuming or sometimes even costly if you were to buy the replicas that don't have good scans online. My favorite prop card is the Prisoner of Azkaban Marauder's map. I don't have the official map replica, but I know of something even better. There is this hobbyist prop maker Jan Hammernick that makes detailed Marauder's map replicas for himself that far exceed the official retail ones. He puts on his YouTube channel and his website high-resolution side-by-side comparisons that to my mind are invaluable when trying to learn more about a particular map prop cut. Like without that resource you'd probably guess that this cut represents Old Post or Old Larry, and you'd be wrong. It's actually the Prowling Passage, the very same corridor that Harry saw Peter Pettigrew on his map in.